Alright, so here we are. Another replay for replay to TI8. And we'll take a look at the teams going around. We've got a Sven, Rubik, Shadow Shaman, DK, and Medusa. With the DK going in the safe lane, but Sven looking like he's going try off lane. And that's not too much of a surprise. I've seen that before. Especially a Sven with stuns. I mean they've got Shackle, they've got Telekinesis, as well as the Stormhammer. So they've got a lot to work with here. And Ward comes out, spots the Bane. There's the Shackle. Sven is coming over. They're gonna try and keep him close. Now they've got the Telekinesis. They need to get in front for the body blocks. If Shadow Shaman can get there, they should be able to get the kill. Turtle Strike's going to come out, and one shot from death is the Bane. Just able to walk away, and as I talk about that, it's Gyrocopter, Bane, Sand King, Doom, Invoker. So Invoker mid, Doom off lane, and looking like a tri-lane top for the Dire too. So try v try. And that should be interesting. So we'll get into this first horn. And Nightmare, Shackles, Stormhammer, that hits on the Bane, but now he's got to walk uphill. One more shot, but not going to come before first blood. This is a Stormhammer that he got greedy throwing it from that spot. Had he just walked around, I think he would have been able to get that kill. That was a very greedy play by the Sven. Or not, I wouldn't say greedy, more along the lines of not calculated, because he was so far away. So now he's in this lane with first blood given up to the Gyrocopter, and he has to be careful there. But they've got the Bane, and I think he's almost baiting out Vision confirmation. And yeah, there it is. There's the Vision confirmation and the Vision con. So it's nicely done. He stands in a visible spot to see if the Radiant do have themselves wards. Stormhammer thrown, not going to keep him alive, but he does take away the Vision. And that evens up the kills in this lane to 1 apiece. However, that kill went to the Rubik. Mid-matchup, Invoker against this Medusa. I kind of like the Invoker. We'll see how he works it out as he's gone to the Quas Exhort build. And then you've got Medusa sitting here, 1 in the Mystic Snake as well as 1 in the Mana Shield. So we'll see if any rotations come out for either side. Invoker is going to hit relatively hard in this lane, and Medusa should be okay to just kind of stick here and farm, throwing the occasional Mystic Snake. As for this Dragonite 1v1 against the Doom, once he gets that 2nd level in the Dragon Blood, he should be okay. Alright to survive. Sentry Ward taken out. Over here in the side of this lane, of this top lane. And that's the lane winner right there. The Enfeeble on to the Sven. Unfortunately, and I guess fortunately for the Radiant, he's forced to go into these clarities, but he's going to have enough mana in just a moment to throw another Enfeeble on this Sven. So the lane's not getting much easier, but at the same time, Gyro's only 7-0 to compare to the 8-2, so he is competing. Despite having the Enfeeble on him, he is able to compete in this lane, and you know, he is only hitting for 40, but if he is able to still get those last hits, he should be in a good way. Telekinesis throws it at the creep wave. Now Shackle comes out onto the Sand King, almost kind of wasted in that spot. But not the worst, just to kind of harass them and push them back a little bit. You've got level 4 here on the DK, 2 in the Breathe Fire, 2 in the Dragon Blood, so he should be okay in this lane. He's sitting a little bit low right now. That's the only thing that worries me. But after he heals up, if he gets himself full, he needs to watch out for that Infernal Blade. It is a little bit deceiving. It is level 2. It should try and go into the max Infernal Blade build. I do like Infernal Blade at level 4, especially when this game was originally recorded. So I'd like to see the Doom go into the level 4 Infernal Blade and just continually harass this DK. And there it is. There's Infernal Blade again. You just You know, you see how much it does, and yeah, he does have that Dragon Blood to work with, but it does eat through it a significant amount. If he's not too careful, if a rotation comes over, ooh, Invoker mid, getting low, Medusa coming over, ooh, Fairy Fire, and now with the Cold Snap, Medusa might just be dead. Gotta turn on that Mana Shield, not needed to get the kill, but then ends up falling. So they trade lives, and Medusa gets the kill, so Medusa will get the experience. Barrel Strike lands on 2 over towards top. Is Rubik getting low, but does have the stick. They'll take the Gyrocopter first. Rubik actually survives with the Telekinesis, throwing him back on the Bane. They have Stormhammer available if they want to try and go for a kill. They need the Shadow Shaman to move up. Salve is used by the Rubik, so he'll be at about full health, if not full, and will be at full, staying in this lane. Ward placed down. A little bit of vision there from the Bane. And it's a 2,000 net worth lead for the Radiant. I believe this was a Battle Cup game. I'm not certain if this was a Battle Cup final. But TP over towards bottom. Might be looking to get this kill onto the Doom, but level 6 in the Infernal Blade. There it is. Showing that it's just too much. And like I said, that really does become the problem.
Don't look good.
With massive rotations heading over towards mid, and Invoker is going to start off with Cold Snap. Now they've got the Nightmare, Burrow Strike, and the Sunstrike. Just about out of mana, uses the Stone Gaze, turns the Sand King to stone. They'll bring the Rubik over. He's going to manage to stay alive. And this just opens up the lane for Sven, which is exactly what the Radiant want. So they're definitely okay with that. Top 3 in the CS is all Radiant heroes. Nightmare here onto the Rubik. They'll use Homing Missile with Rocket Barrage. We'll toss him back with the Telekinesis. Meanwhile, Shadow Shaman's dead. Fade Bolt comes out onto the Bane. The chase is on. They've got the Stormhammer. No God Strength, but should have the damage. And, oh no, he stops to go to the Shrine. Woo. Wow, that was really close. He almost let himself get denied by the neutrals.
With gratitude.
So 3 heroes here now against the DK. Nightmare. Sunstrike set up, but it's a little bit... The Nightmare is pulled a little bit too early. In the Elder Dragon form, they'll get the kill. They do end up killing off that Sand King. But again, this is letting the Sven have time over towards top, and the wow, that Mystic Snake really hurts. It's a 2,000 net worth lead. 5-4 early for the Radiant side. Gyro playing with fire here in the jungle. 50 health. He needs to really be careful. Start harassing this tier 1 tower top. Sven moving along. He's not level 6 yet. They brought the Shadow Shaman over. And for the Dire, let's switch it over to net worth. I know we're only 8 minutes in, but let's switch it over. We take a look. It's all 3 are on the Radiant. They are far behind on the Dire side, and Stormhammer hits, but into the trees. I think with the Burrow Strike is going to get him far enough away. Shackle won't be able to get there, won't be able to stop the TP. And Sand King's out, so he stays alive, still only level 4. What I think they're going to be relying on is the Doom, which was used. I don't believe got a kill. Yeah, Doom was used, and It was a while ago. I think that was in that bottom engagement against this DK.
His top tower might be going
Infernal Blade continuing to come out. It is max level. Right now he's gone for the Cloak Aura. I think they're going to be heavily relying on the Doom as well as the Invoker. And for right now, Gyrocopter forced to be in the jungle. It's going to be a really slow start for him, and he's going to need this game to really open up. The map needs to open up for him to pull it back, and we'll see if the Dire are able to do that. They're already down 4,000 net worth. This is substantial in 9 minutes. You know, 4,000 wouldn't be the worst thing in the world come mid-game, but you take a look at where the net worth is spread out, and this would be a very good kill for them. The Infernal Blade comes out. They've got the Enfeeble. DK very low, will tick out to the Infernal Blade. Now Doom lifted up. They've got the Shackle on top of that. But this could be a turnaround. Burrow Strike hits, and all of a sudden Sand King's killed by this Rubik. Doom's placed on him. Stormhammer onto 2. This could be 3 for the Radiant. They've got the God Strength, and they'll get the kill. Doom, Sand King, as well as the Bane all fall. And Rubik not going to lose his life to this Doom. So things are fine in the world of Rubik. Gyrocopter continuing to farm. Invoker hitting level 8. Medusa farming too, level 9. A full level ahead of this Invoker.
My thanks.
So yeah, things are looking good.
Dire's bottom tower's getting pushed around.
At least for now, for the Radiant as they continue to hold on to this 4,000 net worth lead. On the Radiant, I kind of worry with the Gyrocopter if he's given enough time to really pull himself back out of this hole that he's in. And he is behind the DK, but not that much. But only about 300 gold, so it's not the worst scenario to be in. Radiant do have to be careful, but at the same time, Dire, you gotta be able to open up the map for the Gyros. So that comes from the Invoker, and I know I've harped on this a little bit, but it will come when Invoker gets that Midas, maybe hits that Ag's timing, and Doom finds this Shadow Blade. And they're able to have that pick-off potential with Blink Dagger possibly coming out for the Sand King and setting up with the Fiend's Grip. But now, oh boy, Gyrocopter taken out over top. This is not going to help at all. This Rubik, level 7, has stolen Rocket Barrage. He has been a nuisance in the side of this Dire team. So Midas is picked up, but Mask of Madness is here for the Sven. He sits top of the net worth. And you worry about how fat he's going to get before Dire are able to handle him, if at all. I mean, it is kind of worrisome. So, Invoker going for the treads. We'll see if he goes Ags first, if that's the plan.
I'll take your tribute.
Definitely a huge possibility. Nope. Shaman did bottom, actually. Doom's coming over. They're going to look for the Burrow Strike afterwards, but they have to be very careful. The Fiend's Grip's onto this. DK. Sven slamming away. Kills the Doom. And again, this is what I'm talking about. Sven just coming in and cleaning up. This is a huge issue. He is just that far ahead.
Tower looks to be disintegrating.
And he is, again, just dragging this lead for the Radiant well above the Dire side. And Dire just need to scavenge at this point for resources. They need to scavenge for farms, scavenge for, you know, being comfortable on the map, and they can't find either. So they'll look for it. Invoker goes bottom. They'll use the drums, try and catch up to the Sven. He doesn't have God's Strength. There's the Infernal Blade, but Invoker, that TP took way long with this Doom coming over. Into the Shackles he goes. Nightmare on the Rubik. Let's see if he can turn it around. Stormhammer onto the Doom. Invoker's here, starting with the Cold Snap. Burrow Strike hits, and let's see, can they get it? Medusa's here. And Doom doesn't end up dying, but the Dire starting to find themselves in a lot of trouble, lifting up the Invoker and killing him off. And that's who you really need to be surviving. They don't even find a kill on the side of the Dire, and that's a huge issue.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So 6,000 net worth lead. Medusa comes over to fight for the first time and is getting close to this Lincoln Sphere. That's a scary item for this Medusa, and then we'll go into the Hurricane fight. Again, I just worry about what's going to happen, as now the Doom in a lot of trouble. The Brain Sap hits onto the Rubik. He's got this haste into the Elder Dragon form, would be the DK. Burrow Strike hits onto this Shadow Shaman, who did have the shackles on the Bane. Fiend's Grip will come out. They'll kill off the Shadow Shaman. They'll look for more, but Medusa is here. Mystic Snake hits onto the Bane. Now the chase is onto the high ground, but he's not dead just yet. I don't know if they'll be able to get this a stun out here, as he doesn't even have Dragon Tail at this point. So Bane's able to walk away. They, for once, don't pay for a kill with a life of their own. Gyrocopter heading over bottom is Doom in a little bit of trouble once again, but the Barrel Strike comes out. Invoker's here with the Cold Snap out of the DK, but Medusa has shown up, and with the Stone Gaze again, Dire's in a problem. Invoker is the second time he's shown up, has put himself in a harm's way. One more shot will get the kill. It's going to be the Rubik who finds it. Barrel Strike onto the DK, out of the Elder Dragon form, but inside the Serpent Ward is going to be the Bane. He's taken out. Inferno Blade onto the Shadow Shaman with the homing missile coming in. Inferno Blade might take him out. He survives with 7 health. This is tier 1 tower bottom for sure.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Dire are fighting and just losing multitude of numbers here. And it is just not going right at all.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is not feeling the love.
This tier 2 is gone as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The game plan's got to change here for the Dire, and
Dire's top tower is about to be
as I've been saying, it starts with trying to open up the map a little bit, and Doom will find the Shadow Shaman, goes after the DK, the chase is on, trying to get in front with the body blocks as well as the Inferno Blade, going over towards the double damage, picks it up, Burrow Strike, stunning him some more. They've also got the Bane here, he has 1 stick charge, so it doesn't have enough to really throw anything. Now Stone is the Burrow Strike, but now doomed up is the Rubik. Has the double damage, will be able to work with this Inferno Blade. Burrow Strike hits again onto the DK. Sunstrike to follow that up. The chase is on for the Doom. He maybe wanted to just focus this DK, who's got the Enfeeble on him. Finally, the Inferno Blade hits, and no longer muted is this Rubik, so he's able to turn it around. Throws him back into the hands of the Medusa, as he's now on the run with DK, who didn't die, turning it around. Now finally with the Dragon Tail, Doom might just be dead. The Stolen Burrow Strike. There's the Stone Gaze, Fade Bolt, and with a monster kill streak is this Rubik. This Rubik is 8-0-4. Just very, very, very impressive. And they're going to smoke right on out of this. And this does open up a little bit of space for the Gyrocopter, who's going for the Satan Inuyasha. I think that's a good item to find a little bit of a power spike, kind of try and stabilize this game. Invoker with the Midas, he's going for the Ags like I said he would, and oh boy, they've got the Urn, the Telekinesis, Burrow Strike on top of that, and Invoker. And Midas will help for recovery because you have been slammed down 4 times already in this game. This is just a huge problem.
I'll take that. That should help.
It seems like everything is almost now into the hands of the Gyrocopter. But again, the Midas should help if he is able to get that Ags. We could see Invoker start to do some things here.
Dire's middle tower looks to be disintegrating. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Blink Dagger next for the Sand King, but that's far away. Almost the Shadow Blade here for the Doom.
Radiant's top tower's under attack.
Dropping in the jungle. He gets found by
Radiant's
4
top
heroes.
tower has fallen.
The top tower is taken by the Gyro, but there's the Stormhammer with the Mask of Madness. Sunstrike's going to come out, and Sven might have bitten off more than he can chew. Rocket Barrage comes through, and that's a big kill for this Gyro. That is the kind of kill that lets him back in. That was not the play. Sunstrike has been invoked from the start from this Invoker, and he has really not let it go, as it's not invoked here and now, but he has been throwing that almost in every pickoff attempt, and when Sven tries to go for it there, he eats it. Eats it relatively hard, and that gives up a lot to go to the Gyrocopter, almost finishing off this Sange for the SNY.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So with that, Dire feel a little bit of confidence. They'll head over with the smoke. 4-man smoke with Doom showing himself bottom, just trying to cut off the creep wave, and they won't get a rotation. They'll get a reaction rotation, but they've gone over mid. The rotation comes out from the DK. Doom still showing himself. He kind of wants to bait them into this fight, and he baits them into the telekinesis as well as the breathe fire. Fable comes through. He's got the Doom to throw, but he needs to be able to throw it. Now they've got the call down. They got to find the Doom. It might want to be onto this Dragon Knight, as they've already killed off the Rubik, which is a 9x kill streak going the way of this Bane. Epicenter comes out. Will hit a little bit on the DK, not much. And with 5 heroes here, Dire will end up taking the DK's life and looking towards taking this tier 1 tower as well. They'll grab it. They'll move over towards top. They'll go with the heavy rotations to defend this tier 2 top, and this is exactly what the Dire need to be doing. Constantly moving and finding good rotations, good pickoffs, and that's going to come with the Blink Dagger eventually on the Sand King. The Shadow Blade here from the Doom, as he can Shadow Blade and hit with the Infernal Blade into the Doom with the Scorched Earth. That's always been a nice combination to really put in that kind of damage. We can see Boots of Travel come out after the Ags for the Invoker, so he can come in close on these possible attempts. It really is, you know, a lot building up for the Dire, and I think Radiant need to recognize that and maybe want to put the pressure on more with these Serpent Wards. Pressure is 5, and go for these tier 3s as well as the racks that are open. You've got the tier 3 that's bottom, that's open. They can go there, they can go over mid. A lot of things can work out for the Radiant if they continue to keep the pressure on, especially with somebody as farmed as Sven and Medusa going into these high ground attempts. So we'll see what they're able to do. Dust thrown. Sand King coming over. Pearl Strike lands on 2. Now they've got the Doom on the Medusa. Stormhammer hits on 2. Now the turnaround comes out from the Sven. They've also got the Serpent Wards. 1-2 dead. They'll kill the Gyrocopter, but they will lose the Shadow Shaman as well as the Rubik. They are kind of looking for more. The Burrow Striker continuing to kite this Sven. He doesn't have enough for his Stormhammer, but he has enough to once slap that Sand King to death. Now the Infernal Blade hits. I don't think you want to be in there, Doom. That is not the play. The Tornado, nice. That'll keep the Doom alive. And coming around the back with a Fiend's Grip is the Bane, but immediately hit with the Dragon Tail. Now they've got the EMP that will take this mana away from the Medusa. Now really not having that mana shield, and Sven not having enough mana for the Stormhammer. They'll go into the high ground siege. They don't have Serpent Wards to push it in with. This is still a lot of damage coming out. The Meteor hits on the Sven. He has to be very careful. TP could come around the back if he's not too careful. Maybe Doom goes around. He's invis. He'll find the Infernal Blade. That should be a kill onto the Sven. Burrow Strike hits onto the DK. Can they find more? Infernal Blade back up with the call down. Hagon 2 as well as the Rocket Barrage. This could be a whole cleanup on the exit strategy from the Radiant. They'll get the Medusa. They'll look over the DK. A little bit low is this Doom, but it's not going to matter as he's got the Infernal Blade with the Scorched Earth, so he's got that regen coming through. Rocket Barrage again, and they'll clean up all 3. So Dire, they don't hold the tier 3, they hold the racks. They take 3 on the exit attempt from the Radiant. That's exactly what they need. They've been doing a really good job of closing this up.
Fortune's changed.
Poker picks up that Ags. He hits level 15. He's on a roll. Blink Dagger here for the Sand King. Like I said, they're finding these items to really start to pressure the Radiant, where I don't know if they're safe with what they've got.
That should help.
I mean, he could kill the Shadow Shaman. He's not alone, so maybe he's got to be a little bit careful. You want to go for the Doom, and then I'd say the Infernal Blade. Stormhammer hits onto the Bane. He should be dead, but this might be a turnaround as they've got the call down, but not enough heroes here. As over bottom is the Invoker. We'll see if he goes for the Boots of Travel next, but for right now, he's ratting this game out. He's pushing bottom. That's what he wants to do. He wants to push bottom, push out, make the Radiant feel uncomfortable about pushing, which they don't at the moment as the Shackle comes through, but they've got the Sunstrike with the Burrow Strike coming out from the blinking in Sand King. Stormhammer from the Sven, he's out of mana. God Strength probably getting low on its cooldown, and they'll bring in the Infernal Blade. They'll find the Doom, so this Sven might be dead. Doom might give up his life for it. Buyback comes out from the Sand King. They might want somebody to TP over to the Shrine because they've got past the tier 2 towards the tier 3. Sven in a lot of trouble. They need to find the Blink Burrow Strike on him. They'll throw the Tornado. That hits on the Sven. That could be his life. Sunstrike actually hits onto the Rubik. Sven survives with 32 health. Blink and the TP out. Unlucky for the Invoker. He does end up getting a kill there, but he was really going for that Sven. Fiend's Grip comes in, and Shadow Shaman hexes to stop the Fiend's Grip, but Burrow Strike into the epicenter. DK surviving with the Stone Gates coming out on the Sand King. Turning Bane to stone. Still looking to turn. Invoker ready to continue to go in. He's got Tornado with the Deafening Blast. Homing Missile coming out onto the DK. That'll land. It actually keeps him away from the Homing Missile, but he's no longer in the Elder Dragon form. The Nightmare stops him from getting hit from the Burrow Strike. He gets hit with it, but the stun doesn't last because the Nightmare was there, and he almost saves him, but he still ends up dropping. Sven, meanwhile, will go back to farm looking for this BKB. Invoker. Let's see what he goes for.
New treasures.
I'll take that.
Doom's now got the Silver Edge. Wow. That's
Well-gotten gains.
a big item here. And I am nervous. With that item pickup on the Doom, I'm nervous for the side of the Radiant. Doom's sitting here third in the net worth, but farming in line with his Invoker and Gyrocopter. Gyro's going to the BKB. Sanjin Yashin into the BKB. Pretty classic. Invoker going for the Lincoln, so he doesn't want to get hit by the Dragon Tail, the Hex, or the Stun. He wants to be able to survive at least one of those abilities. Nightmare comes out on the Rubik. Hex from the Shadow Shaman. Sand King is here. I'm gonna go for Roche. See if they're able to get this. Lincoln's gets popped. Now they've got the Doom. That'll come through onto the Medusa. Telekinesis whips up the Doom, but they've got the Burrow Strike as well as the epicenter. They're trying to kill this Rubik. He'll end up falling. Meanwhile, on the back lines, they've got the Doom continuing on forward with the Infernal Blade, really lowering the mana of this Medusa. BKB is going to be popped by this Sven, as well as the God Strength. He's continuing in. They need to pop that Lincoln's. Go for the Infernal Blade once again. Doom's worn off the Medusa. Shackled for just a moment. Hexed up once again. Blink, Burrow Strike, Serpent Ward's down. Look for the EMP with the Chaos Meteor. This could be a couple of heroes here, as that's going to roll right over the Shadow Shaman. Deafening Blast hits onto the Sven, so he's disarmed for a moment. No more mana. They've taken out the DK. They'll look for this Medusa again. The Burrow Strike hits on the Sven. Could be a team wipe for the Dire. They continue on forward for the Medusa. Out of mana, out of life, and gone. Dire lose 2, and they take out everything on the Radiant side. This is just going horribly wrong for the Radiant. Roche is left at about full health. They can't go in on there for the Dire, but... whew, boy. This is just... Dire heavily taking advantage. Looking real good, to be quite honest. They actually do go. Surprising me.
I'll take your tribute.
Aegis is picked up. That's going to be on the gyrocopter. Finishes off the BKB. That's a 10-second BKB already for him. And then you take a look at the Invoker finishing off the Lincoln Sphere. So they are really building on these items. Invoker sitting here level 22 on top of all that.
Double damage.
So, Invoker will pick up that Lincoln's. We'll see if he swaps out the treads for the boots of travel.
The wages of fear.
I knew. Dead mid all by himself. Against 4 heroes. 5 heroes, really. And they're going to push right on through. So towards the tier 3, knowing that they are in a lot of trouble in terms of taking this game. Call down comes out onto 2 of these heroes, as well as the Serpent Wards drop. Stonegaze also committed, where these heroes are nowhere close. Burrow Strike, Epicenter, all available. Tornado hits on 2. They might want to go in on this as the Blink with the Stormhammer Lincoln spot. They've got the damage to take out the Invoker, and they will. Burrow Strike hits with the Epicenter coming through. They'll take out the Shadow Shaman as well as the DK and the Rubik. Only one's alive are the Sven as well as the Medusa. They've got the Nightmare on the Medusa with the Burrow Strike. Sunstrike not even close. But with the split shot, they have to be a little bit careful. But then they work around it. They get the kill. And down goes Medusa. Dead for 72 seconds with no buyback. This is looking so good for them. See if Bane's gone for cast range, right? He might even go for even more cast range. I've seen Bane's go to the Aetherons after picking that up. He just is available for the gyrocopter. And he just brings salves to him.
Radiant's bottom tower needs a hand.
They'll go for this tier 3. This could honestly become an issue for the Radiant if they're not too careful. The Dragon Tail comes out, but DK, ooh, nice Stormhammer on a 3 with a God Strength. They'll clean up the Invoker. He's going to be dead as he bought back in the last fight. He's down for 100 seconds. They look over the Doom. He's gone as well. 85 seconds on the sideline. The Aegis has been popped on the gyrocopter. He pops the BKB just to leave. They also pop the smoke to get that extra speed. But the smoke's been broken on the blinking forward Sven. He's got blink again in just a moment as the BKB is worn off. Wow. 3-man Stormhammer from this Sven. And that is what turns that into a nice couple of kills there with no buyback as the Invoker or the Doom. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just look to drop Serpent Wards, take a set of racks, and back. Ooh, they steal the homing missile. Stormhammer, Telekinesis, Burrow Strike comes through. Sven unfazed, and there's the Fiend's Grip coming out on the DK. They've also got the call down. Gyrocopter really needs to get back because he is low on health, and Sven just hits away at the Shadow Shaman. Or Sven just hits away at the Bane, not the Shadow Shaman, with the help of the Shadow Shaman, excuse me. And they will take the mid set of racks. You're going to go for the bottom set of racks here, too. Actually, let's take a look at the buyback. Sven and Gyrocopter, as well as Sand King and the Shadow Shaman. BKB is going to be popped by the Gyrocopter, as well as the Sven. Finally wears out on this Sven, who's low on mana. Burrow Strike hits on 2. Homing Missile on the way. Doom's back up. Invoker up in 4. They need to be very careful. Sand King ends up losing his life to the Sven, who's also still got this God Strength, so he's hitting away really hard. Gyrocopter falls. He's going to be dead for 80 seconds. Has buyback. Burrow Strike on the Medusa. Blink forward with the Sandstorm. They're looking for the DK. Hurricane Pike away, and here comes the Invoker with the Chaos Meteor as well as the Disarm onto this Medusa. Just trying to walk away, but doesn't have really an escape with the Hurricane Pike on cooldown. Burrow Strike, Infernal Blade, Lincoln's popped, and down goes the Medusa, dead for 80. Buyback actually comes from the Sven, and just getting away is the Shadow Shaman over towards top, but buyback from the Sven. That's keeping this game a lot closer than it needs to be.
Almighty money.
So bottom set of racks are gone, mid set of racks are gone. And all of a sudden, Dire are feeling heavily pressured.
Well-gotten gains. Double damage.
Bane, he's going for a Ghost Scepter, keep himself alive from this Sven. Sand King's going for the Yules. Doom with the BKB after picking up the Shiva's Guard. BKB for the Invoker, and then you take a look at the Gyrocopter going Divine Rapier. Straight Divine Rapier, wow. He really hasn't been able to survive these fights, but he's going to go all in. That's actually nuts. Fully committing and really trying to just go through them. He's got an 8-second BKB to work with, but he has to use that aggressively and find his spots. I think that comes with Deafening Blast from the Invoker, or an EMP Tornado into a Deafening Blast, just to make sure this Sven isn't able to do much.
Fortunes change.
The Medusa, too, getting turned to stone will most likely end the Gyro's life, and he's only 600 gold away from this Divine Rapier. I'm really nervous for the Dire setting up to be in a spot like this. To me, it seems honestly crazy where you could just go Daedalus instead. You don't need to make a move like this. This does not need to be a Divine Rapier game. And there it is. There's the Divine Rapier. Do I agree with it? Not really. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. This is for the all-in high ground defense, and he's going to go for the butterfly next. Meanwhile, DK's going for his BKB, and Sunstrike into the Roche Pit again, waiting for that Aegis. If they could grab the Aegis, if they can get Roche, unfortunately for them, it's a long Roche to hold this Divine Rapier without a second life. But if they can get the Aegis, get this Roche, get the cheese, I feel like you'd feel a lot more confident about
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
giving up your life. Burrow Strike hits. There is the Shivas into the Glimmer Cape. Here comes Rubik again. Blink into the Dragon Tail. Sand King in a lot of trouble. Now they've got this Shadow Shaman trying to go in. The homing missile's out on him, but you look at the damage that the Gyro's producing. He's got himself already 2 kills. They look over the Span with the BKB pop. He's been muted. He needs to get out of there. He's 2 shots away from dying, and now forced to pop that BKB. Creeps are going into the base. They're looking for the tier 4. The Burrow Strike with the epicenter as well as the rocket barrage damage. It's going to be enough to take out the Span. He's down for 100 seconds. No buyback. So it does work in. The all-in gamble is going to pay off for him, at least for the moment. He needs to get this life back. Put down his beats per minute on that heart. And I talk about his own heart, not a heart of Tarask or anything. His own heart. Going into a play like that, with no ages, almost dying to the Stormhammer, God strength that is the Sven, but now Sven dead for 77 seconds.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower looks to be disintegrated.
Why that comes out from the DK, they back off. Again, why are you here with that little health? You need to go back and heal.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Got himself salves, but again, just being in that spot for that little amount of time, to me, is just crazy. Deafening Blast, not timed right. Invoker doesn't actually hit those spells. Blinking in, looking for the Dragon Tail. Is the DK. Sven pausing. And I'm pausing.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I think Dire, they're grabbing their first lead of the game as tier 4s start to get low. They need to be careful because anybody picks up Boots of Travel and they could be in trouble. And honestly, Sven has Boots of Travel. You'll feel better with this Aegis, but you need to push out bottom. Telekinesis, Medusa's here. They've got the sentries. They do have the vision here to stop this. And now, you take a look over. The Fiend's Grip comes through on the Medusa as well as the EMP. So you are going to be Adam, my friend. The Chaos Meteor comes in as well. Down for 86 seconds will be this Medusa. There's the Epicenter coming out on a couple of these heroes. They look over the DK with the Inferno Blade hitting. DK is going to be gone as he just fought back down for 80 seconds. They'll take the Rubik as well as the Shadow Shaman. 4 dead on the side of Radiant, just like that, as the Dire will take the Aegis and give this Gyrocopter a second life. Sven looking to finish behind closed doors here. Let's see. Back from the Shadow Shaman.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take the tier 3. Setup go right for Rax. And right for the tier 4s. Sven forced to come back. God Strength BKB is going to be popped. He's looking for the nice Stormhammer, but it's blocked by the Lincolns. Let's see. The Aegis. Gyrocopter again has to be careful. Serpent Ward's trying to lock him in, but he ends up spawning to the side. They look over to this Sven, who has no longer got that BKB. He's going to be dead. The Shadow Shaman next to fall as the Tornado Sunstrike will land, and everybody dead again on this Radiant side, and Dire should be able to finish it off here as they go for the tier 4s and then the Ancient. Rubik back up, Medusa into DK in 3 will be enough to lock him in. Telekinesis stuns him on the Doom. There's a Deafening Blast coming out, disarming this Medusa. Stone Gaze comes out, turning to stone both the Doom as well as the SK. Burrow Strike hits onto the DK. BKB popped by the Invoker. Fiend's Grip here onto the Rubik. Surviving, but the call down hits. And Gyrocopter actually dies. The Divine Rapier's on the deck. Medusa picks it up. It's gone again. It's on the ground. The Dire's alive. It's everybody up against the Rubik. And the Ancient will eventually fall. And returning champs will take the victory. Wow. Just able to finish that game out. So let's put that